Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Square Circle Podcast. I am your host, Marie Shadows, and you are listening to the best podcast you ever heard. Today I have a special guest. It is the one, the only, the wrestler who has never played WWF No Mercy.
It's not that serious.
JD Alpha.
The best on the East Coast, of course. Hi, Marie, how are you?
I'm good, and I'm glad that you're on this podcast.
Thank you for having me on.
This is a very special one. This is like the first one, so you kind of broke the ice on everything.
I'm the first. I am number one on this. So, get your act together, I guess.
This is why he's the best on the East Coast. Let's start it off with the simple question of, where did you get JD Alpha? Who is JD Alpha? What is JD Alpha?
Okay, we'll do that right now. So, JD Alpha was a name I thought of when I had a friend named Justin. His name was Justin Danielson. So, he was a little kid that lived upstairs from me. And he passed away at a very young age. And we used to love watching wrestling together. We used to watch a lot of the Attitude Era back then. And then growing up watching like tag teams like Edge and Christian, the Hardy Boys, and the Dudleys. And we're just like, wanted to make ourselves like a tag team. We always had the dream of, hey, when we make it up there, let's be a tag team and stuff like that. And then Alpha was part of my name, because I always thought of myself as an alpha male as a little child, because, you know, in school, like, I wouldn't allow myself to get bullied a lot. So a lot of people gravitate towards me, try to follow me when it came to that. So that's why I became like an alpha, so to speak, and stuff like that. I gotta stop saying stuff like that. It's like a bad habit of mine.
It is.
Well, you should obviously know you're on the road with me like mostly all the time.
Yeah, I am on the road with JD Alpha most of the time. So he does really love saying the phrase, stuff like that. Aside from getting your name, where did you first get your start?
Let's see. I got my start at a little. Here we go.
Story time, guys.
Story time. This is gonna break the internet. I got my start at doing a little backyard federation with a bunch of friends at a park in New York. It was like a little small thing. We would get like a lot of people to like come to the park just to hang out and watch us perform wrestling. So I did that for at least a couple, like probably 2 years, until someone approached me about, hey, you know, I know someone who's running like a wrestling federation. You're pretty good at, you know, throwing your body around and getting hurt for little to no money. How about you come do it for little to no money with us in a wrestling ring, but you got to get trained. So I was like, okay, I'll give that a shot. So what I did was, there was this company called Empire Pro Wrestling who did like a training school in like this weird, I would say like boiler room type thing, where like the ropes for us were just like, I don't know, like hose or something, like, you know, water hose that you like garden with or whatever. So that's how I got my start. And then from there, I literally went back to backyard wrestling for I can hold my breath a little bit, which was the worst thing you can ever do. And then I found a kid came up to me who he was like, hey, listen, I know a better school that you can go to. It's called Bronx Wrestling Federation. So I went down there, which is called the BWF now. Usually you hear me refer to the Bronx Wrestling Federation as BWF. I went there back in, I would want to say 2012, around there, 2012, 2013 is where I started training there. I met a lot of great guys there, and then I was so motivated because these guys, they were just like a little bit taller than me, and they just looked like stars, and I was just this little skinny punk kid who went in there and was like, I just want to be a wrestler. And from there on, the rest is history, you know. I trained there for years, and then I jumped from school to school to school because I didn't want to stay in one place and learn something from one person. I wanted to go to like other places and learn other things from other people to see what I can bring in to my style of wrestling. So,
and you think that made you an all-round person for what you are today?
As a person, yeah, basically, because I feel
I should
like...
say as a wrestler.
Well, as a wrestler, of course.
Yeah, as a wrestler, it made you feel all around.
In a way, yeah, you can say as a person, too, because knowing, like, meeting different people and, like, ways how they, like, teach and, like, present themselves in, like, the wrestling business, it kind of made me feel like a better person because I always grew up also like, like I said, like I would not get bullied a lot because I would not allow it. But also I was a quiet kid who would just be listening to his music. I would really not talk to anybody, and that was just always me. So when I started like getting myself into more of the wrestling business, it was like I would speak out a lot more of like how I would feel about wrestling, how I would talk about wrestling, and it just made me all around better. And then when it comes to like the wrestling aspect itself, I would say it really opened up my eyes to a lot of things because I just started looking at a TV like it was like, hey, this could be fun doing it. I didn't never knew like once I actually stepping through like those ropes, it would get serious and it shouldn't. Okay, how many curses I have on the show? Is this a curse-free show? Or?
It's a curse-free show. Go ahead. Listen. Go ahead, dude.
My shit got rocked a billion times. I think my first ever concussion was at a training where this is my favorite story, and Marie knows. I was 2 months into training, and I've seen this guy. I studied him for years, but never thought I would ever cross his path. Seen Loki. Yes, as you guys know in the WWE as Koval, but his indie name Loki.
It's Loki.
It's Loki.
Awesome wrestler.
Amazing wrestler. He kind of smarted me up a little bit, and until even a point where, like, we were doing something up to a point where I kind of pissed him off. He kind of gave me a stiff kick to the nose, busted me wide open. I was like, hey, listen. In ways, I feel like I deserved it, but I don't really think I did it. At the same time, I'm gonna come for you, Loki, one day. I'm not even gonna bother with that guy. But but going back to what I said, because of that, that's what made me learn that I have to go other places and learn other things because you're going to get experiences from different people from different regions, and they'll teach you like a little small aspect that you didn't learn from this place. And that's going to carry you wherever you go because if, let's say, I'm calling a match for the guy and then like he decides to like switch it up on me, I can figure out when he's going to switch it up on me because, this is not what, we set out to do and stuff like that. That's a good prime example right there, but that's just me.
So going back to BWF, what was the training schedule like?
The training schedule for BWF was basically if you had the money and the time, you can just go in there and just do what you want to do. At that time, like I said, back in 2012, going straight up, it was like you can come to the gym, you can even work out with the equipment, you can get a good workout in, and then you can go bust your ass in the ring. And like for me it was like back then I trained at least 3 to 4 times a week, mostly 4 times a week, so I would see these guys like a lot. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. So I would see these guys a lot, and then like it was just nonstop for me. I was doing it consistently until a point where I'd said like, listen, I spoke to the promoter at the time. I was like, hey, listen, I've been training here for a while. Can I get my big break or anything like that? I want to start doing their shows. I'm always at your shows. I'm always helping out with the ring and the equipment and stuff like that. So the promoter was like, hey, okay, I'll give you a spot, but it's not going to be wrestling. I'm going to make you a referee. I said, okay, I'm cool with that. I really don't know much about refereeing, but hey, let's give it a shot. And that just followed me through. So my first ever show, I was a referee, and I believe I ref like 4 matches at the time, and I was just like so scared at the time because like once those like hot lights hit you, it's just, and those people are watching, I just feel like, oh my god, I don't even think I can do this. I honestly think I can't do this, but lo and behold, I figured out a way how I can do it and got over that nervousness in me.
And also, being a referee is way more work than probably being a wrestler.
Oh, yeah.
You got to remember, like, your spots and, like, everything that you guys talked about and stuff like that. So I give all credit to the referees, especially the ones that I know, and even the ones I see on TV and stuff like that. So after BWF, you move on to another promotion, which was...
Oh, that was Fight the World Wrestling. So how that started out was, I always tell the truth. I was really frustrated at the position I was in. I still, at the time, wasn't really getting the thing I wanted, which was just to do a wrestling show, just to like perform as myself. So I went to another school. I went to Fight the World Wrestling Academy, which they had a base off in Queens, New York, which they originally had like a school in Brooklyn. I don't remember the location, but they transitioned into going with House of Glory into a school in Queens / Brooklyn area. And then I just started training there with the likes of Grim Reaper, amazing guy. I love him so much. And Matt Stryker, as you guys know from the WWE, Lucha Underground, and so forth, so forth, so forth. And from there, I feel like that's where I developed myself a little bit more as a character, and I developed myself as knowing like more a little bit more insight to wrestling, because once I transitioned to going in there, I learned other things. Like I learned like more part of the business aspect of it when it came to like running the show, promoting, securing a venue, and stuff like that. Also, not only I was in FTW, but I also was bouncing back and forth with Creative Pro Wrestling, which is run by Pat Buck and Kurt Hawkins. From there, the school I went to was in Long Island, like I believe right off around Ronkonkoma. So from them, I learned mostly like steps and like little footworks when it came to like wrestling, like the little more smaller details that sometimes even like in the other schools I wouldn't really focus on. But from there, I did focus a lot more on them because, Pat Buck, as we know now, he's a producer for WWE, and Kurt Hawkins is obviously in WWE as we speak. So it's like they know exactly what they're talking about when it comes to like little small increments here and there when it comes to the wrestling aspect. You had a question?
No. I was gonna jump in.
Yeah, because if you let me talk, listen, I'm gonna ramble on forever.
It's totally fine. We're on track with everything, but to jump into that one too. The first time that I met Pat Buck was when me and you went to your tryout in Jersey.
Oh, right.
In the middle of nowhere, by the way. But just to be at the tryout with JD Alpha and listen to Pat Buck and how he instructed all the students there to do the exercises and stuff like that, like I was learning little bits and pieces here and there. And I could tell you that when I stepped into the ring after WWE let me go, I was just like, all right, let me see if I can try this out. And it's actually fun. It's hard work. And it's not, I have to stop overthinking. But just based off of my little experience in the ring, plus meeting Pat Buck and getting to understand how he thinks and how to maneuver in the ring, just blows your mind from that standpoint. So aside from like Pat Buck helping you out and obviously Grim Reaper helping you out, you want to now jump into the Jersey territory?
Well, I guess we can do that. So, I really want to jump into that right now.
Or did we miss like a timeline in this whole thing?
Yeah, there's a huge timeline we missed.
All right, so Jersey, we're saving you guys for later.
Yeah, we'll save that for later. Let's see. Let's go back to me leaving Creative Pro. I left Creative Pro due to the fact that it was a little bit more farther from where I lived at the time. As you guys know, I resigned in Alphaville, New York, and Brooklyn. At the time, I was living in the Bronx. So for getting to the Bronx to Long Island every week was just terrible. And then also from there and then going to Brooklyn, Queens just to do Fight the World Wrestling, that was even more stressful. So I decided to just stick solely on Fight the World Wrestling. So I stick with Fight the World Wrestling for about 3 to 4 years. 4 years, yeah, 4 years I stood with them, just trying to help them out when it came to like going to other places, when it came to helping other promotions out, and also wrestling for them, which was like amazing just to get like a big break like that, to like wrestle for like other promotions, also be under the FTW banner. I really think like being in FTW was something of a really big learning experience for me, because not only I learned to better myself as a wrestler, but also help people better themselves and probably give them like a little quick startup jump to like their career from whatever knowledge I have from going from place to place to place to place to place. And I just realized there is one thing I did miss out. And here's another story time for you guys. So during the time I left the Bronx Wrestling Federation to go to another school. I went to the school in Jersey. It was off of Jersey City. It was called I think it was like A Star, like some I don't remember the name, but it was like A Star Wrestling, where Jay Slicks was the head trainer there, and I brought to him whatever I had from what I learned from BWF into his school and just like try to like work things out there. And lo and behold, he brought me to the back and he literally told me the one thing I don't think any wrestler wants to hear, or even like a person trying to get into this business, would like to hear. He told me, "Hey kid, you kind of don't have it, and honestly, just by looking at you, I think you should just stay as a fan." Wow, that really hurt. it really hurt hearing that, and
Wow, I didn't even know this.
yeah,
I
like,
didn't know this.
it hurt a lot hearing that from him, because like it was even worse taking the bus back and just like ringing that going through your head like over and over again, like someone who's in the wrestling business telling you, "Hey, listen, you should stay as a fan," and it just hurt a lot. I was just like, wow, I thought I was actually going somewhere, but getting kicked in the face, concussion, and like a split lip means I'm not even close to like being whatever I want to be. So wow, that really hurt. But obviously I didn't take that bullshit seriously, and then I transitioned to FTW, and then that's from there on. That's when right there I kept that like motivated when it came to training. So from there, again, consistently training with Matt Striker and Grim Reaper. Grim Reaper was on Mondays, Matt Striker was on Wednesdays, and just like picking up like things from them really helped me out. It made me think, maybe what the other guy Jay Slick said, maybe it was just something he was probably pissed at, or maybe he meant it. Maybe he thought I should stood as a fan, but I didn't really wanted to take that to heart, and I didn't let that bring me down. So it just like fueled me to go even further with my career.
So FTW is bringing you and all the rest of the guys around to other shows and stuff like that. Talk about your time when you were helping out with Evolve and stuff like that, because FTW did have a little, I guess, collaboration with Evolve.
So at the time, I believe this was during the time Evolve started doing shows coming to like across like different states and stuff like that. So FTW was there to like give them like a little help from here, like from time to time. The experience was great because I got to watch these matches and then like talk to the guys in the back, like guys like at the time Johnny Gargano, Chris Hero, Austin Theory was there, but I believe he was just still starting out. Austin Theory, AR Fox, and a lot of those guys, and guys like Ethan Page, who's not going to say how amazing he is, because he'll tell you himself in his little vlogs or his own little podcast. But to meet guys like that was also very beneficial, because they will tell you like, hey, listen, in your career you're gonna have to deal with some bullshit that you're not gonna want to deal with. So when it does happen, just suck your salt and keep going and keep going and keep going. And then always they will end up with like a funny segment with them, because it's like, they're boys and boys will be boys, and sometimes some guys have to get slapped, and sometimes, they give wedgies. Yes, they give wedgies. I'm saying it right now, they give wedgies in Evolve. I guess they
I bet they do, man.
No,
I bet they do.
They do not. I met a guy. I met Gabe Sapolsky. Very, very good guy to talk to. I remember having like a couple conversations with him here and there, but just like learning from him was just like very humbling, because it made me understand, what it's like to do this, but as not a wrestler, just like on his like point, like as a promoter or a booker, and just to understand like how the crowd comes into, like how the crowd comes out. When the crowd goes out, what did you do that night to make them want to come back when we come back to New York? So it was just humbling to like get that from him.
Just so you guys know, Gabe Sapolsky was the booker for Ring of Honor during like the 2000 era of the year. He should have left right when they went. I don't know how long Ring of Honor went with Sinclair Broadcasting, but he was the booker for like mainly. I know like 2006 is very big, and probably like 2010 ish, but he was mainly the booker for Ring of Honor, and that's the very enjoyable time I had with Ring of Honor. Was during those years and whatnot, because I love seeing guys like Samoa Joe, who's in WWE, and then Daniel Bryan and everybody else like that came from Ring of Honor and stuff like that. That was the most exciting time when he was there being a booker, and I also got the chance to meet him and talk to him for a little bit too, and just to pick his mind for certain things is really good. One day, I will go down to the seminar camp down in Maryland just to do it and get it out of the way, just to learn some more stuff. I would like to do that one day. Favorite match from Evolve?
Oh, my favorite match from Evolve, I believe probably like my... So here's the thing, I don't like main events. I really don't. They bother me. I just don't like watching.
Main events bother you?
Main events bother me.
Is it because of the name?
It's not because of the name. It's just I just watched an awesome show, and now I got to deal with like the last one of them, which is just always ends up boring for some reason. But this one wasn't boring. My favorite. This is like the main event. It was Ethan Page versus Johnny Gargano. It was like a street fight. And, like, these guys were just brawling it out on the outside and stuff like that. And it was just weird because, like, I didn't really, like, see that as much in, like, indie shows. Because I haven't really been to a lot at the time. Because I'm the type of person where it's, like, I don't really like to follow certain products because it's not my business. I would like to get there, but I'm not, going to tell you. I'm not going to run down to you what happened every Monday night or every Friday nights or Tuesday nights. I'm going to tell you what I did on my Monday night as a wrestler or as a trainee or at the time. But going back to your question, that match was one of my personal favorites because Ethan Page did like the best thing ever, and he came out to Triple H's theme song, which at the time it was big because at the time everyone was like super hype, like because Triple H would go out and get scouts for like all these different wrestlers and stuff like that. So when we heard his theme song, everybody, even myself, like I have to admit, even myself, I just popped, and like the whole place just came alive. And lo and behold, it was Ethan Page looking like The Rock with his whole black T-shirt and sweats, and I just said, "This guy has won my heart." Shout out to Ethan Page.
So, other than that, any other memories from working with FTW and Evolve?
So, one of my favorite memories working with FTW is probably one of like a match I had. I remember I worked I think it was like my second match ever with FTW. I worked like a 6-man tag match where it was me and 2 other trainees against these other seasoned guys who was been with FTW for like a couple more years or whatever. And there was a spot where I had to dive over the ropes. And this is like I said, this is like my second match with FTW. I never really got the chance to fill out their ring. So the guy looked at me and he was like, "Hey, you can die, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." Everyone getting like crazy. Everyone's jumping like, "Oh, they're gonna jump. They're gonna throw themselves." So I looked, and then I hit the ropes. I come, and then I see how high the ropes are, and I just said, "Okay, I'm just gonna go for it." I dive, and then I don't know what happened. My body said, "You know what? Let's bail now." Grabbed onto the ropes, and then flipped myself, and then landed my whole tailbone on like the metal part of the ring, and then literally saying "ow." Looked at the crowd. Oh my God. The crowd looked back at me, and they were just laughing their ass off. I just said, "Well, I made a complete ass of myself." Literally.
It happens.
It happens. And then going to the back was even more funny because I'm just getting chewed up by AR Fox telling me, he was like, "Yo, listen, kid, you gotta let go of those ropes. Can't be afraid," and stuff like that. I tell him, "I don't know what happened. I remember flying, and then I just remember hitting the apron. That's all I remember."
The mind of a wrestler. That's all he remembers. What I remember during Evolve was the time that you were in a tag team. This is further in his FCW career when you were in a tag team with Leland Parker versus Dom and Chris.
Oh, the East Coast Syndicate.
Yes, the East Coast Syndicate. And Chris had to just take you over to where we were sitting, the family members were sitting on ringside, and decided to just throw you into the chairs. And I was recording your match. I couldn't say shit, and that kind of upset me. Luckily, they didn't tell me this was going to happen, so everything was all right. But either way, I couldn't really yell at him just because of the spot, because those chairs are, really painful.
It's funny that you mentioned that because I even me and my wife, we still talk about it. She always mentions how much she hates that moment because not only that I went through the whole entire crowd, I broke her chair, so she's even more pissed. She's like, I hate the fact you took that, and I hate the fact you broke my chair. I could not get another chair, so I had to stand for the rest of the show.
True story.
Oh my God.
True.
And to this day, she still has a grudge against Chris Martin due to that fact. She's like, I hate him. I don't want to watch any of his matches. Every time he comes up, I'm just gonna grill him. And to this day, she still does.
She has been doing that. She has been. Favorite match from FTW?
Mine are like the ones I watched because I watched some shit matches. I guess mine's right. Okay. Let me see.
We're not here to throw people under the bus unless we have to.
I'll throw people under the bus if I have to. Let's actually talk about this one. This is for you, buddy. Mr. What is it? Too good? Screw you, Ace Andrews. You broke an N64 in my head. We'll talk about that a little bit more later.
We will. We got the video package too.
This is Ace Andrews' first ever FTW match. So, is JD Alpha teaming up with Ace Andrews going against the Disassemblers of Bobby V and Jack Sisko. So, it was awesome because throughout the entire match, it was nothing but me and only me and Ace Andrews just playing to the crowd. Just telling everybody, hey, yeah, look at me. I'm the big non-muscle guy. I'm the skinny twig who has muscles and stuff like that. Look at my cool little tank top and stuff like that. Mind you, I'm getting my ass beat by these two assholes, and then he's just pandering around. This was not a good time for me. So, match comes up to close to the ending. I look at him. I said, listen, you better get your skinny ass in here. Tags him in, and after that, I just go onto the apron, and the match was already over. I look back, I said, what the hell just happened? How did this end? And then I just see him raising his hand, and then he just looks at me and says, I'm better than you. I'm just like, this is not happening. This is bad. Afterwards, after the match, I get beat up by the Disassemblers. He's gone because he went to go pan into the crowd again, into the crowd. And I'm still hating him for this. And he sees me getting beat up, runs back in the ring, Disassemblers leave. I come out, try to get back because I'm hurt. He comes up and makes me look like the littlest piece of shit ever by putting his jacket over me like I'm just a pathetic fool, and then just brings me to the bag while he's still pandering to the... I hate Ace Andrews for that.
Oh, and by the way, didn't you train him?
Yes! Little bit. No,
JD Alpha trained him.
Let me put actual context to that. I didn't really fully train him, but since he was part of the FTW Academy, he's one of those guys I kind of helped come up when it came to learning certain things about wrestling here and there. I mean, the guy, not to bury him too hard, but he does have a good sense of mind of the wrestling business. So some of it was hey, I want to try this, and I'm just a guy hey, we'll try this, but let me just give you a little nudge here, show you how you actually do it like this, and then he'll get his 2 cents into okay, this is cool, I'll do it this way then. Basically stuff like that, I wouldn't, like I said, people who are I would honestly like to say I helped train would be the Ace Andrews, the Chris Barnes, the Dominic De Niro, who I helped train a lot, because for that, if I can just go in to speak about that, Dominic De Niro was one of those guys that the minute I met him I literally met him at a bar.
Yeah.
And he wanted, he told me, and the big skinny asshole Ace Andrews, he wanted to be a professional wrestler. So we said, hey, come down to our school in FTW. So we brought him in. After that, he came in with I don't know. For me, it's like he came in with such tenacity and such glow in him.
Dude,
and
he still has it.
And of course, he still has it. This guy rocks and kills it every single time he's out there. Him and Chris Barnes, those guys, they just have like this fire and charisma in them, which you know they're not JD Alpha, but you know, I gotta say, those guys are going somewhere, obviously. But back to him, I was there for his first ever match against another one of our good friends, Brother Greatness.
Yeah, Brother Greatness.
Which was a pretty good match. I remember watching in the crowd, and I just didn't want to talk to anybody. People kept coming up to me like, "Hey, I want to talk to you." I'm like, "No, I don't want to talk. I got to see this kid because you know I helped this kid out so much, and I just want to see him." And to be honest with you, for his first ever match, everyone will tell you for your first ever match, you're going to suck. But for his first ever match, he didn't really. He sucked, of course, but it wasn't as bad as like you know probably my first ever match, which was like terrible. I'm glad that video was destroyed. Thank God. But for him, it was just like it was decent. It was solid, and I feel like I had to pat myself on the back for helping him get to that level, and like him now just progressing even further. But fuck Ace Andrews, by the way. I just had to throw it out there. I'm sorry.
I mean, that's totally fine.
Fuck that Aiden English looking motherfucker. You know, dropping me on my head on an N64, saying he's too good. Sorry, I'm just rambling again.
It's totally fine. It's totally fine. Since we're already talking about Too Good, if you guys don't know, they basically say that you have not played WWF No Mercy. What is up with that?
All right, let's get into the full story. I had a friend who loved WWF No Mercy so bad. Like that was his number one favorite game of all time. So I always lied to him saying like, "Hey, listen, I played the game before. It was awesome. Yeah. Oh yeah, Steve Blackman and the whole being $5,000 or whatever and stuff like that." I was just bullshitting. I was pulling things out my ass, and apparently some of it was true and some of it was not. So it was the time he put up a post where kind of hit me close to home. So I said, you know what, let me make him feel better. And then I made a Facebook post saying, let me make a confession. I never played the WWF No Mercy. Yes, it blew up for no reason. So I'm home, literally just like, this is me after taking a shower, from coming back from the gym. And then I just check my phone and I just see like hundreds of like comments stating, why haven't you played this game? And I'm the nice guy. I'm always answering everyone's comments and tweets and stuff like that. And then just from there, I never knew like a whole community will come after you just because you never played the game from 20 years ago. And apparently it has. And now I'm cursed with it for the rest of my life. So, this whole thing spurred out of nowhere because of that. And now I can't do anything with my life while having people ask me, have I played the game yet? I literally went to the store to get a coffee, and the guy asked me, hey, have you played WWF No Mercy? No, because it's not that serious. I literally go to work and having my coworkers call me from upstairs, hey, have you played No Mercy yet? No, because it's not that serious. But apparently in this day and age, in this world, it is that serious. But then again, I'm going to keep on saying it, it's not that serious.
Do you have a date to give to the fans of when you're going to play WWF No Mercy?
Well, I have played No Mercy. It's just not WWF No Mercy. See, you guys wanted me to play No Mercy. I did. The 1986 movie was a masterpiece, and you guys loved it, just like how I loved it. You know what? Thank you guys again for that. But when it comes to WWF No Mercy, listen, if you really want me to play, it's very simple. Just go to my Cash App, send me some money. I'll buy a Nintendo 64, some controllers, and the game itself. And then I'll play it in front of everybody. But until then, I'm not playing that game. Times are tough, kids.
You heard it here. And then I guess we'll link the Cash App in the bottom of the description.
No. Even better.
Even better.
Even better. Best way you can support that is by supporting me by buying my brand new Burrow Bomber t-shirt. Shameless plug. Go Marie Shadow.
It's totally fine. When 2020 comes in, you'll be able to get the Bomber t-shirts for 10% off?
10% off.
Look out in the description below for all the details.
Back to the story.
All right. So you say No Mercy is not that serious.
Totally not that serious.
But your first ever title reign was that serious.
That was the best feeling ever. So, since this is the podcast that's going to end up the year, I have actually won my first ever title. It was something that I felt all my hard work finally paid off. And it was for like probably one of the best companies I know. I guess this can go into like the New Jersey scene now.
Yeah.
So I get a message from the owner of Ironbound Wrestling, which right now it's called Intense Wrestling Alliance. He tells me, "Hey, listen, kid, I want to use you. You seem like a good kid. Let's make something happen." So this was the time where I feel like my career wasn't really going. I was just going pretty like sleek, just going straight. I really didn't do much when it came to like going around. I went around to other places and other promotions, but I didn't really like wanted to like travel mostly outside of the New York territory scene. So I was like, hey, I mean, Jersey's not too far. Let me try that out. So minute I got into IWA, they brought me with open arms, and I did exactly what I do every night, and that's give them my entire heart. And the promoter at the time, Frank, he said, listen, I see what you're doing here, and I'm going to reward you. You're going to go against one of the toughest guys in the upcoming Mantis. If you can beat him, kid, I'll definitely give you a title shot.
Oh, that's how it happened?
That's exactly how it happened. He told me, he was like, listen, if you can beat Mantis, you can get a title shot.
Wow.
So that match comes up, number one contender spot. I'm shaking. I'm nervous. I'm going against Mantis. Mantis is another up-and-coming wrestler who is just amazing. There's so much good I can say about Mantis. I literally came into this match scared due to the fact that this guy's reputation, he's only been doing this for 2 years. I've been doing this at least now for 9, but this guy for 2 years, like, literally was just like, hey, listen, this is my shit, and I'm just going to shove it down your throat. So, here we go. I have the match with Mantis. Grueling match, probably one of the hardest matches I ever had. And got the big W. Soon after that, Frank kept his word. It was like, okay. So, the next show we're going to do it in your home. Well, your former home in the Bronx. Your former home, because, Alphaville's the best place alive. You could not beat Alphaville at all. We're going to do it in your home. And in your former home, again, messed up. It happens. And we're going to do it in the Bronx. At the time, I'm wrestling a guy named Johnny Angel, very tenacious. That kid, he was a real fighting champion, but he wasn't really ready for JD Alpha, I'm sorry to say, but came the time, bell rings, I'm doing my stuff, me and him are rocking it, boom, boom, bang. I pick up the victory, and I became the IWA Light Heavyweight Champion, my first ever title, and I can't tell you how much emotion I had with that, because it was like all my hard work paid off all the times, even thinking back to what Jay Slick said, I should be a fan, but hey, listen, I just want a title. And it's like, it was just like probably one of the best moments of my lives, because not only my family got the chance to witness it and experience all my hard work, coming to I guess a close. I wouldn't want to say close, because I'm still doing this, and
but it kind of reached a point of like everything you ever did, even if like no one gave you like a really spotlight and a chance to do it, him winning that title was like everything. Just to see it live, and I didn't know it was gonna happen. Like, he didn't tell any of us this was gonna happen. And
gotta keep wrestling alive. Gotta keep it a mystery.
Yeah, keep it kayfabe. I immediately remember crying while it happened, only because I wasn't expecting him to get, a title. I wasn't expecting you to get it just yet. But I'm really happy that IWA and Frank believed in you in order for that to happen. Like, even when I first met Frank, I could tell he's like a really stand-up guy. Like, he's family oriented, and he wants like a really good show to happen. Doesn't matter what it is, but he takes care of his guys. The many times that I went to IWA and, he welcomed me with open arms to be part of, with JD Alpha, just to record his matches and stuff. He's a very stand-up guy, and that's what I really enjoy about going to IWA matches. Just IWA in general.
Also, but don't get that confused because this guy takes no bullshit. Like he'll call you out on some shit.
he would. That's why he's a stand-up guy, man.
Listen, I love you, Frank. Please don't call me out on my bullshit right now.
That's what it is. But other than IWA, what is the other promotion in Jersey that you also wrestle for?
I wrestled for SWF, which it's also a name that I still kind of don't know. I just know it's called SWF. I did one of their training tryouts that they had. This was a company at the time, like during like 2014. I've wanted to like get with, not like sleep with, but like get with. Try to like
get hired
for.
Get hired.
And then like I got the chance to when I did their tryout, and I just impressed them all with my JD Alphaness. And basically from there they said, hey, listen, we like your stuff, we're going to use you. They're really mostly south of Jersey, which is very, very deep, as how we say it in the Bronx. That shit's deep. So we had to roll deep, many miles.
We went to the middle of nowhere in Jersey.
I feel like, we feel like it's the middle of nowhere. The only reason, there's three reasons why I love wrestling for SWF. One, it just feels like, I don't know, how do you say it? Like, I'm trying to look for the word. I don't want to say the wrong thing, but I'm going to end up saying the wrong thing. It felt more legit, okay? It felt like sort of like a higher tier wrestling promotion, and it just felt good. That's one of the reasons. Two, there was a Wawa's there, brother. And Wawa's
is life.
We're not sponsored by Wawa's, but that thing's life. Literally, like we got 7-Eleven, and that
7-Eleven sucks.
That ain't shit. Like that's nothing. But Wawa's,
that's life right there, man.
That's the reason why I love SWF, is because they felt more legit, and because of Wawa. I know there's a third reason. The third reason is because they also opened me up with arms wide open, and they also believed in me, and they had high hopes for me. And then from there on, I just traveled from other places like Maine, Texas. There's other places.
You can talk about those, like any type of road stories, anything that stood out to you.
Let me see. I'll tell you guys about the one in Texas. So I'm in an RV going down to the show GCWA, probably like one of their in Corpus Christi, Texas. Corpus Christi.
You got it, yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure. So I'm in the road with my friends. He has an RV, so he was like, hey, listen, we're going down to Texas to do GCWA. Gonna talk to the guy, see if you can get on. Perfect. Go down there, and here's the funny thing. Leading up to that week, I did CCW Dojo Wars, and I ruptured my ACL. Yeah, I ruptured my ACL knee. Obviously, when the ACL is in the knee, but I ruptured my ACL, and I can barely do stuff. But I didn't really care because I was going down to Texas. So, this was like career defining for me, because it's like I've been to like other places, like other wrestling promotions in the States, but I've never went straight down to like a place like close to Mexico. So I'm like, hey, listen, let me try this out. So I'm in the RV, messed up knee and everything, having to like have my knee suspended on top of like a couple of chairs or whatever. Actually, no, I had it suspended on a microwave. That was funny. So as I have it suspended, like one of my friends is just making popcorn, and he was just like, alpha knee flavor. I'm like, what the hell does that mean? Okay, well, whatever. So we're going down the road. We're heading. I think we just passed. Was it South Carolina? Somewhere. I think we passed Utah. There we go. We passed Utah, and there's these chicks on the side of the road, and they said they needed a ride. Since we have a big RV, they're like, "Hey, can we get a ride?" So my friend was like, "Yeah, sure, no problem." So what my friend does, he literally told him, he was like, "Hey, if you guys want to come in, you gotta be topless." And then they were like, "Yeah, sure, no problem." Me, I was sleeping at the time, but I can hear the commotion because I'm sort of a light sleeper. So all I remember was hearing, they were like, probably getting naked, I think, in the front. Because, like, music's playing loud and, like, I hear them screaming. After that, he was like, hey, we're going to stop for gas. You know, let's wake up Alpha, see if he wants anything. So I walked to go to the bathroom. I just see these chicks, like, half naked. I was like, okay, I'm just turning back into the bathroom. I'm married, so I respect my marriage. But I'm in the bathroom, and then, like, I'm just hearing loud noise, and I'm hearing the girls scream and stuff like that. Come to find out, like, we just ditched them on the side of the road. Naked and everything. And I'm just
What is
looking
wrong with
I
you?
don't know. Listen, I told him, I was like, dude, what the hell? And he was like, hey, listen, I don't know either. I'm just like, okay, so I guess we don't know.
Oh my God, no one knows.
I popped my head out to look at them, and they were like, you asshole. And I looked at them, I was like, listen, it's not me. I didn't do this. I was asleep. I guess that was like probably one of my favorites. But then again, Karma hit us because his RV, like, gas ran out or something, and then, like, once we refilled the gas, because this is coming back to New York, refilled the gas, you know, after his, like, I think, like, his battery died, so then we had to, like, spend, like, a couple more hours, like, trying to find, like, a store that would give us a battery, and we go to this diner, and lo and behold, guess who's in the diner? Oh, shit, it's those two girls. Holy crap. So now I had to run back to the RV because I know some shit was going down, and I'm not being no part of that. So I come back, and then I just see them coming back with them, and I'm just like, well, what's going on? And so they were like, yeah, so they're going to help us out. And I was like, you know, we still have their clothes in the back. They're like, yeah, they want to pick that up. So I give them their clothes and stuff like that. And like I said, karma hits us hard because the minute they took their clothes, they took the keys to the RV.
Oh my God.
And
how'd you make it back?
no, that's another funny story.
Did you hike it?
We didn't hike it. We just hitchhiked with some locals who were apparently going to New York. And I guess, well, some of us took a bus. I didn't have the money for it, so I just took a ride with some stranger, and going back to New York. And that's probably one of my favorite stories ever because it's like those chicks came back and, like, got their receipt. Like, yeah, we're gonna get our clothes, but by the way, we're taking your keys. Like, oh great, now we can't go anywhere. Even though we couldn't go anywhere due to the fact of the battery, but yo, it was bad. I can't be I was part of that.
It's the life of a wrestler. It's really the life of a wrestler. That is like the most craziest story that you have in your lifetime. So you went to Maine?
Yeah, I went to Maine, but this was like early in my career. This was like I think I did a dark. I would say, yeah, it's a dark match. I did a dark match for this company called MCW. I don't remember the full name of it, but it's like MCW. Went down with a couple of the guys from the training from BWF, and then they were like, "Hey, could this guy, do anything?" And one of my boys, they were like, "Yeah, he's pretty solid, stuff like that." So I just did like a show opener for them. Those things to just get the crowd coming in, hype and stuff like that. That's it. It was a simple 5-minute match. Nothing really special.
So talk about CCW.
CCW Dojo Wars. That's a company that I've been trying to get with for, well, the Dojo Wars not really, but the CCW itself, it's like something I've been trying to get with for like a while. And I knew, going back to like the East Coast Syndicate, Dominic De Niro and Chris Barton, they were going down there just to do their Dojo Wars. And I've just been bothering them and heckling them. I'm like, hey, listen, I want to go. I'm going to go. If I don't go, I'm cutting your balls off. So that's happening. And apparently Chris Barton kept his balls. So that's a good thing. But then again, Dominic De Niro wanted his balls to get cut off. But then again, I didn't want to cut his balls off. So no one's balls were mutilated, ladies and gentlemen. But
everyone kept their balls.
Everyone kept their balls. I told them, like, I think it was like the close to the end of 2018. I was like, hey, listen, when can I come down? And after months and months of bothering them and just telling them and saying, hey, I really want to go down there, Dominic De Niro literally tells me, well, you can always come.
That's a very Dom response. That's a very Dom
Basically,
response.
I mean, he was like, yeah, you can just come. Just like that? He was like, yeah, you can just come down. What else? Do I have to do like a special? No, just come. I'm like, so this whole time, I've been telling you guys, can I come? And you guys been giving me like the whole, we're not too sure, we're kind of new here, and we don't want to like, make ourselves look bad. But I'm like, okay, listen, I respect, but can I come down and try to talk to somebody? And just to hear that, no, you can just come. But so, it made the little boy me cry a little bit. I was
well, they worked you at that point.
Yeah, I hate getting worked by other workers.
They worked them. You want to talk about the other time you got worked?
There's been a million times I got worked. Hold on. What are we talking about here?
The one in Jersey for SWF. With the secret guy.
The secret guy? It's not Jay Akira, isn't it?
No, but we could talk about him in a little bit, but it was on the same show.
Oh, the secret guy. So, okay. This is funny to me, but I'm in the locker room with a lot of the guys, and I'm just there talking and riff-raffing, and I think at the time I was playing my Nintendo Switch or something. There's this weird guy coming in with like a luchador mask. And I'm just like, this guy doesn't look like a luchador at all. This guy looks kind of like puny and stuff like that. I'm walking by him. This guy walks from the locker room and he's not saying anything to us. So I'm getting a little nervous because, I don't know this guy. You just walked in here for all I know. You're a fan. I'm about to kick your ass. Can't be back here. And, like, he stands at a corner and I'm like, okay, it's making me nervous. I talked to Alphonse the ref. I was like, listen, this guy's making me nervous. Who the hell is he? And he's just like, I'm not too sure. He finally comes up to the masked guy comes up to us. He was like, hey, I'm this guy. How are you? He didn't even say his name. And he lifts up his shirt. Lo and behold, it's James Ellsworth. I'm like, what the hell? What are you doing here? And it was just, I literally stopped. I looked in the air and I looked down and I was like, did I just get worked? Is that literally James Ellsworth? I mean, yeah, you have a luchador mask, but like, what the hell?
So, for more context, we were in Jersey. It was an SWF show. They had gotten James Ellsworth to be the surprise person in this intergender match.
He did his job, right? He was such a surprise.
He really did do his job. I didn't know who he was either. And then when he takes the mask off, it's like, oh, it's James Ellsworth. But yeah, he was to be included or just to mess up the intergender match that happened at the SWF event. That was one that was kind of like a funny work because I even got worked. I was like, what the fuck is this?
When he came back to the locker room, he comes back and he was like, I kind of overheard you guys. I didn't want to get I didn't want to like start a fight with you guys, so I had to like tell you who I was. I was like,
at this point, it doesn't matter.
He lifts his shirt up and he shows me the shirt that the E made him, and I'm just like, why are you wearing that shirt? Oh, okay.
It clicked in
this
his guy.
Head. Holy cow! What the hell are you doing here? I mean, I met him previously during like an FTW show where me and him,
I remember.
Me and him, we got into an argument for things that was not under my control. But besides that, seeing him again, I'm like, oh wow, hey, what's going on? Are you still pissed off at me because that had nothing to do with me? But
yeah, I remember that. I remember that. Let's talk about Jay Akira.
Oh god, Jay Akira, the guy that keeps wanting to rise against me. Let me see, Jay Akira. I like Jay Akira. He's a cool kid. I think he's another one of those guys where it's like he's trying so hard to find himself, and not a lot of places, especially in the New York scene, doesn't want to give him the time of day.
Yeah,
they just look at him as another extra guy. But that kid is something special. We had a long program in SWF where for some reason I couldn't beat him. He couldn't one up me. He couldn't one up me. I couldn't one up him, and we're just going back and forth on it. But it felt weird because it's like he didn't seem like the type of person that I would expect to hold himself against a guy like me. I've been doing this for a long time. I think he's only been doing this for probably a couple of months or close to a year, if I remember. And plus, it's kind of dangerous. He doesn't really train a lot. So it's for the fact he can pull his own against me was pretty good and stuff like that. But yeah, that guy, I like Jay Akira. He's a real good guy, even though he's not going to beat me, and there will be a day I'm going to beat him. And this little thing he got going on where it's like he's saying Akira's over Alpha, which that's stupid. There's no one over me. Not even you, Ace Andrews, you two bad bastard. Jay Akira, I feel like he's going to be something special. Just give him a little bit more time. And that's really all I got to say about Jay Akira.
Are you guys going to continue your feud? Do you have any word on that?
I have no word on it, but again, if we are, he's not rising up against me, and there's no Akira over Alpha because that's just stupid.
So, very quickly, the reason why you guys are feuding is because...
we haven't beat each other.
We haven't beat each other.
He hasn't beat me. I haven't beat him. I don't know what's up with that.
So it's a stalemate at this point.
It's a stalemate at this point, and for all we know, it might be a stalemate forever.
You want to talk about Mantis and how he could be your next great rival?
No.
Well, I personally believe that he will be your next great rival.
Okay, we'll talk about Mantis a little bit. How much time we have left?
Doesn't matter.
Oh, how does it matter? We're going on for 2 hours?
Doesn't matter.
Oh, God. Okay, let's see. Mantis... I kind of briefly spoke about Mantis as a kid coming out from the West. I didn't mention that part, but he's a guy that I believe he's based off like somewhere like in the Midwest. He comes to the East Coast, Northeast Coast territory scene to make a name of himself, which he done pretty well as. My match with him was at IWA for the number one contender spot for the IWA light heavyweight title. Excuse me. And that kid is just, I don't even want to say kid because like I don't even know. I don't remember how old he is. So I have bad having called everybody kid. He's really good. I could that's another kid I see. He's like I can see the future with him out of his $1 million abs, like he likes to say. I can see the future in him, and he's just striving like hard. When I wrestled him, it was the reason why I said I was nervous. It was because, you know, this guy is striving like so hard, and whatever he does and stuff like that, you know, I just didn't want to like. How do you say this? I didn't want to. I can't really look for the word for that either. Let's just say I didn't want to be in his way of like having something from something to go to like wrestling for Beyond, and then coming down to wrestle little JD Alpha, which, you know, you want to wrestle JD Alpha. Segue into being JD Alpha. I'm not really good with these interviews. Oh my god. It's okay. I got it.
You sure?
I got it. I got the training wheels on and everything. I'm good. So I didn't want to talk about Mantis. But Mantis is another person that's going to be is obviously way better than Jay Akira. He's going to surpass a lot of us in so many ways. And I felt that when I had my match with him for the number one contender spot, we literally beat each other till like we had at least 1 HP left in us. And I guess his HP ran out. Then I got the W on that. But such a great competitor. You guys really need to like watch him and like watch out for him, because that kid's gonna be something special. Done with Mantis.
All right. What does 2020 have in store for JD Alpha?
Well, for JD Alpha, this time around, I'm trying to transition into more international wrestling. I just got confirmed for booking in Puerto Rico and Canada. Canada. We're in the talks right now, trying to go to Mexico. And the last point I would like to go to is obviously Japan. That'll be hopefully later on in 2020. And that's basically it. I just want to do that. I want to still do what I got, become the best on the East Coast, show off what I can do in 2020, and still hold the title, becoming the best on the East Coast by getting to wrestle up and down, and then spread out a lot more into the West of the territorial scene. Even though I keep saying it's territorial scene, even though I'm not that old school.
Technically, if you really want to do that, you can. It's totally fine.
It's the territories.
JD Alpha wants to spread out within all the states that provide any type of professional wrestling and stuff like that because it's always fun to travel.
And if you are a promoter or know a promoter, if you would like to book JD Alpha, you can go on my Twitter page. My DMs are open. Also, you can email me at jdalphalive@hotmail.com. My email is always open to every promoter, fan, and sponsorships, because I do take sponsorships. Listen, I'll make my tights and I'll just put your logo right there on my crotch. Not the crotch, but it'll be there.
And also, if you would like to see some JD Alpha matches, we also have it on Ravage Lands Production on YouTube as well, and also on our website, www.ravagelands.com. This has been a very amazing podcast for the very first time for the Square Circle podcast. My whole idea is that when February 2020 comes around, I would love to interview more wrestlers, especially on the East Coast, especially in New York City. We already name dropped a few, so, you know, if you guys are listening, just let me know when you guys are available. We could set something up because I want more spotlight on the guys in New York City because they don't seem to get the recognition or the spotlight that, you know, they deserve because they all work hard. Every
New York.
Every single professional wrestler works hard. Every single referee, manager works hard. So I will want you to, on the podcast, to just tell your story just like JD Alpha did. And then we're going to wrap up with any other last words for JD Alpha.
Well, besides the fact that Ace Andrews and Cuzzo are ugly bastards, I really have nothing left in mind. If you want to come and see me perform, follow my social medias, my Instagram, my Twitter, my Facebook. I will have a schedule letting you guys know when's my next available performance. I have one coming up in February. My next performance is in February 1st, in the Bronx Wrestling Federation at 1123 Close Avenue, by the way. I go against You're Awesome. You know, I have to find myself a tag team partner to go against those guys, but at this point in time, no one seems to like me, so that's going to be a struggle. If you guys want to see the outcome, I highly recommend come to 1123 Close Avenue, the BWF, and watch JD Alpha kick some ass.
All right, you heard it here from JD Alpha. We'll see you guys on a future episode of the Square Circle Podcast.
Bye!